morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, all our viewers. Once again, I would like to welcome you to Humanist TV Africa as we go on with our consumer empowerment programs. It is a great honor once again to be with you, and I apologize that last Saturday I was with you. We were up country as a team, and the communication was a challenge. So, all our listeners, consumers, in your respective capacities, I would like to welcome you to yet another series where we are discussing digital finance. But first, before we go into all these discussions, I would like to thank our producer, Dennis, and then also thank all the other teams that are with Humanist Africa. Colleagues, for some time now, we have been running the digital finance series and majorly looking at what needs to be done to scale up digital finance. We appreciate that digital finance has got a lot to provide to the consumers and also bring about, innovations, bringing about development of businesses to employ the growing number of youth. But we have a challenge that if the public, the consumers, lose trust and confidence in something that is there to provide them a living and nearly that is driving their day-to-day life, it is something that will affect all the investments and whatever is being done in regards to scaling up the usability of the technology, enabling consumers to get the benefits of whatever is entailed in the ecosystem of the financial services as in digital finance. So it is important that we discuss and get into the depths what is good and what is challenging so that we are addressing it and we benefit the full potential of the digital environment. The past few weeks and months, we have dealt and got into deep in what is entailed in digital finance as it touches nearly everything that we need in humanity. It facilitates purchasing of our needs like food, healthcare, housing, going into paying bills of sanitation, electricity, paying for our other utilities. But the only challenge that is, or many challenges that we are in there, is consumers being affected. And we appreciate that consumers are the drivers who will promote and scale up usability of digital finance and all its attendant services. If it is trustworthy, if they have confidence in it, When they have challenges, they are addressed. I will be asking Dennis to play a video of a study that was done in Uganda showing the benefits, the potential, but even the consumers, as in traders who are using the facilities, what their fear is. Mainly their fear is mainly on the fraud, the scams, where they opt to get the money out of the system and they keep it to themselves. But that brings about exclusion in one way or another. Then it impedes and kills the benefits that are supposed to be contained in digital finance. So, with permission from financial sector deepening, I got a link of a video that they shot and they are screening to bring about awareness on different perspectives, views that will help the central bank and other financial service providers to look into the challenges that consumers and businesses are faced. So if we can watch it, we can relate it to Uganda, but we can also relate it in our own localities for those of us who are, let's say, in Zimbabwe, Kenya, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, and so forth. And all the viewers of Humanist Africa TV. I don't know, Dennis, if you could play the video. It is about 6 minutes, but it will give us the different perspectives of the digital finance users.
Planning and Economic Development, and several other stakeholders conducted the FinScope survey. The fifth of its kind, FinScope 2023 included a new module on green finance. The survey was aimed at tracking trends and changes in the financial inclusion landscape since 2018, when the last survey was conducted, while benchmarking these trends with countries within the region. This information will be used to describe the financial service needs of the adult population, thus providing policymakers and the market with insight that can be utilized to further deepen financial inclusion. In rural parts of the country, formal banking is not a popular choice, as many do not have the surplus to set aside.
Sitera kutereka mu banka ate we mbajagala sente njagala essaawa eyo nzifunye nzikolere ne banka kali nga juzi twagera mu banka tutawaanya nnyo ogera okugyayo sente bikibiri kati ng'ebyo nga mubitegedde mmwe mubimanyi.
Mobile money services have become one of the more commonly used means of saving and transferring money in many of the communities in the country. The government of Uganda has asserted that mobile money services are indeed a formal financial option in the nation and further acknowledges the services as a vital component of the economy.
Okusinziira ku nfuna yange ntonotono singa kukozesa mobile money. Mbadde sinafuna busobozi bwa gundi kugula account mu banka.
ekyokusasula ku mobile money tekiri mu kalungi kale kiri awo.
As convenient as mobile money might be for many, for those settled too deep in the rural regions, accessing the services can prove quite difficult.
Ngikozesa naye olumu banzibako sente kati bona sibesiga olaba sente ezigwa ku simu bwezi tipa nga nzijjako.
Olumu byekyangamu network zisumbuwa bayinza okusindikira ssente nga z'oli kubanja ate bali kugamba ng'osuubira nti bagenda kwesoba 1,000 osalako ezaabwe ate n'olusi bajjako 500 oba 2. Eno tuuka sina kashi ate oteekemu booda agenda paka mugema geeri gye muva ku main.
Mobile money we can use, but the stations are very far. Like Apache Town, it is far. Even Owang, it is far. You can even move on the way, and then people rob. Our money time we put in the house, and then we have a village saving. In our language, we call it bolichap. So we used to take it to the saving every week. We have the saving center.
Service providers in the different regions also have unique experiences as they conduct their day-to-day duties in these communities.
Network is a big challenge because when network is bad, you find that somebody trusts to come up to here, network is bad, that person bounces. Then of course also when it comes to float, since this business purely is me to finance it, somebody may come with the big amount of money, and maybe I don't have enough float. So you find that that person will be disappointed. Then the obvious one is security. We are targeted, and as we have seen, most of our colleagues have lost their lives.
Another alternative financial service is the village saving groups. These organizations are designed to cater to the specific needs of the communities they operate in.
Baba tibwana busente nti buli awo bungi. Oluisi buba oba bakusindikira emitwalo 2, oluisi mulala kitundu, oluisi 5,000 wabutoolayo wabukozesa. Kutoola ku nga ntayire mu kabiina. Kuba baba bampaire oba mitwalo 2, nsobola okutoola ku oba 5,000 n'ata mu kabiina.
In the urban regions of the country, formal banking has a firmer footing as many opt for it to conduct their larger transactions and savings.
I save the little. Reason being, nti bw'obeera ne ssente at cash ng'ozina mu ngalo nga ffe abakazi twagala nnyo ebirungi, you get, ogenda toola essente ezo oguleko akagato oba oguleko the necklace. Naye bw'oba ng'olina essente ezo mu banka tekikubeerera kyangu to spend anyhow.
Embeerako n'akasente ak'okutereka ate nkateeka mu banka. Wano mobile money buli lw'obuguma omwo mwangu olya. Zino za mobile money zezitambuza emirimu ezirwa n'ebizibu zibeera mu banka eyo.
The FinScope 2023 survey data represents an adult population of 24.6 million and forms a crucial component of the Ugandan government's efforts to gain deeper insights into the financial behaviors of its citizens. These insights contribute to shaping various facets such as policy formulation, infrastructure design and development, and pinpointing key sectors for investment within the economy. By undertaking the diverse needs of its people, Uganda can pave way for a future where all citizens can participate meaningfully in economic opportunities and prosperity through financial inclusion.
Thank you very much, Dennis. As viewers, you have seen the consumers or the business people, wherever they are in the different areas. They have cited a number of things that we have once or twice talked about here. The issue of improving infrastructure, issues of improving the network, issues of security, issues touching the different aspects of complaints resolution, people not trusting their monies with at times the system. They end up buying animals and saving keeping their savings there, and they sell the animals when they need the money. Others have resorted to keep the resources in their homes. Others fear, or they mentioned that mobile money operators are targeted. So looking at all that, it says that we need to build up infrastructure that facilitates and scales up digital finance in whatever aspect or it is in. And then when issues are there, resolving them so that people have confidence in the sector. So what do we need to do as different actors and stakeholders? It is to do continuous surveys like the FinScope survey of 2023, that if, let's say, the Bank of Uganda as a competent authority, the Ministry of Finance, and all other ministries and departments that are charged or obligated to improving digital infrastructure that will facilitate where the complaints or the challenge of having a poor network, once that is addressed, then people will have more trust and they will embrace the digital finance. But with all this said, and no investment is made to address the number of challenges in the FinScope study, it erodes the trust. When you look at the aspects that have been mentioned in the survey, and you look at the complaints like we pick or harvest from consumers, they are the same issues. And this is when it is important to call to action the different players to come in and play their respective roles to build trust and build confidence in the sector. So it is very important to continuously do those surveys, to do also to go in depth, to interrogate them and see how best to start financing to address the number of aspects that are coming in. This is where the consumer complaints data is very key. Then the private sector as businesses need to work with government as a duty bearer to make sure that the challenges that are seen by the different players as challenges are addressed. Then that will facilitate the different players to benefit from all the benefits, the potential of utilizing digital finance. Looking at the other aspects where consumers' rights are taken in perspective, where the benefits are in perspective, responding to the challenges that are raised will facilitate the uptake, the utilization, and also the widening the scope, bringing in the financial inclusion aspects. So this is where I feel that the advocacy aspects need to continuously be done, the different stakeholders engaging, but in particular the duty bearers reaching out to the service providers and the utilizers, as in consumers, so that the triangle of utilization of the financial services is improved. Other aspects that need to come in is empowering the consumers to get to know how they can, or they can look out for, let's say, aspects of fraud. This takes me back. Yesterday, we were having an engagement with the media where we were honored to have different presenters who shared with the media, the journalists. We had more than 60 journalists whom we engage every Friday, what we call the media lunch. But the issues the journalists were bringing out, why they have also been scammed at knowledgeable people. But they find themselves that where they have no alternative, they have to use the digital finance, but they are more suspicious. This is when they ask, okay, can we have our capacity built so that we are in position to also go in and facilitate and empower the consumers on radio, in in print media, or even or the digital media. So we find that awareness with regards to digital finance is still very key to all others. It is appreciated that even the knowledgeable, once in a while, they get duped. I was sharing an experience with them. Even me, myself, I've ever been conned, where I thought that I was very knowledgeable, knowing, receiving and receiving complaints of consumers. I can easily safeguard myself. But all the time, the scammers, the schemers, the the fraudsters at times a game ahead. But all these do not take us off the campaign of having fair digital financial services for consumers. So this is where we continuously need to urge the duty bearers and advocate for systems, for legal and regulatory frameworks that will protect the consumers. And all these legal and regulatory frameworks do not have to be at national level. But when we look at digital finance, it is a global initiative, and having global solutions that can be localized is something very key. So if we have both legal and regulatory facilities at global level, we can bring them down to our respective local levels or national levels and localize them to address the challenges that consumers, businesses find in the market. So it will be very key if dialoguing is made priority. Surveys that like the one we have just watched are continuously done on a regular basis to have mechanisms that address consumer challenges, business challenges. Those will be in position to build trust and confidence in the digital financial services. So it is very key that different players have an opportunity to continuously engage and fill up the gap where there is dis and misinformation. Once we empower the consumers and the competent authorities have got feedback channels, complaints mechanisms that do not only wait for complaints, but they can also be proactive, then that will continuously build the confidence of consumers in the respective systems. We need to appreciate, and we continuously mention it also to consumers, that regulators are challenged given the fast rate of technology development that we're experiencing. You find that the laws that we have in place that need to be implemented, at times they are challenged, that the competent authorities might not have all the experts, or the scammers or the unscrupulous might be more knowledgeable and have more resources than the competent institution. So this is where mechanisms by the competent authorities need to be known by the consumers to help them speak out when they are challenged and they receive different, or they observe different anomalies in the market. With such an approach, where there is coordination of the different players, where the private sector has put in place safety measures, where consumers have complained and their complaints are addressed in real time, then the confidence and trust in the system will be upscaled, and enabling consumers to utilize the benefits that are in the digital finance ecosystem. So it is key that different institutions reach out, use the existing laws to make sure that the consumers have an opportunity to reach out and speak out when they are affected. They will find that there are opportunities for them to address all the challenges. And these do not need to be only in urban areas, but they ought to be stretched out even to the rural areas. Like in the video, the lady who was in Apache was talking of services not to be reliable where one needs to travel a longer distances, either to Apache or Leland. And by the time one gets back, the customers are already disoriented. So all this goes back to the aspects that we raised, that the need of rolling out quality and effective infrastructure that improves the network aspects, improves the real-time service delivery. These are going to build more trust and confidence in services that are provided in the entire financial sector, and in particular, the digital finance. The numerous benefits can't be overrated and watered down, but they can only be watered down by failure of consumers and businesses to have trust in these processes, our systems. So it is very key that the different stakeholders and actors uphold the different consumer rights, where their safety is guaranteed, where information is guaranteed, which is accurate. When they get challenges, the different regulators play their role and address the anomalies that they face. The consumers get liberated, then they will talk positive about everything. Then consumers will be in position to have enough resources to also go and facilitate or buy from other businesses, so that the consumer welfare is attained and the business operations too are improved. So all this needs to start by governments playing their role, regulators playing their role, and the private sector playing their role. But like we always say, the consumers too have got the responsibility to protect their data as in PIN, and also to be vigilant. Being critical is going to be very key on the aspects with regards to consumers. If they are, colleagues, I'm sorry, I don't know if I can go, I can't stop. I have no control. But like I was saying, that consumers have a role to play by being responsible and protecting data as in their PINs, not to share it with others, and also to be in position to speak out and raise all issues as it is their right, then to be in position to be vigilant, so that whatever services they are accessing are safe, and if they are not safe and guaranteeing their safety, they need to speak to the respective authorities, seek correct information, so that will enable them make informed choices in their respective transactions. And when they are affected, once they speak out, their respective representatives are in position to speak in their interest. Like we do collect consumer complaints, we take them out and we give them to the respective authorities. But the partnerships we have with different entities enable us, like the Uganda Communications Commission has got a consumer self-help points. So consumers need to seek such information to get to know how best they can protect themselves, get redress when they are affected, and all this can effectively be realized when continuous consumer education is done. And that is a right to them. So all these different approaches and processes enable us to put up an environment in which consumers can easily operate and also develop businesses, also improve their life and welfare. Yes, so all these facilitate consumers to gain their trust and also confidence in the whole system. So it is something very key that we need to look into as we do the different deliberations and understandings of our different activities.